Bolivia makes it a presidential kind of day on the Dakar. The riders skirting the mighty Uyuni salt flats. Peaks of exceptional altitude where humans sometimes struggle to breathe. Dakars threading their way through the Andes into Chile. And our legends talk about their finest Dakar moments. Moments to savour. All that as Stage 8 heads to Calama. Bolivia is a place that calls for boldness, I guess, braveness of spirit, the kind of drive that took early explorers over the next horizon. It's absolutely stunning. Well, culturally and historically, it has huge spiritual depth and richness. It's one of Latin America's most indigenous nations. These people have been here since time itself, it seems. Well, they embraced the Dakar with an exceptional fervour, astounding absolutely everybody. 350,000 lined the routes today as the bikes forged new paths across high plains, through the valleys and across the peaks. But you need a sea of people. It was a cacophony of colour and smiles. And what do people meet? Boats. So the president turned up. Why not? Treated like rock stars, every single person attached to the rally today. It was magical. Well, President of Bolivia, Evo Morales, followed the race from the moment it entered his country, and he was here, being mobbed. He's hugely popular, greeted by the Bolivians, and indeed their star rider Carlos Salvatierra gets to meet the president and a bloke in a condor outfit as well. There were so many people present for the sporting event, and I have to thank the ASO who've accepted our participation in the Dakar, and I hope that this great event will serve to unite the people. Sport helps unite people, and so for that reason, if that alone, I am very, very happy, he says. Well, the president then moved to the finish podium, the bloke with the condor left, to greet the fans who were revelling in the atmosphere of the race and watching as Salvatierra took his turn on the stage at the finish podium. Well, I'll tell you what, there's so many firecrackers out there. It became a worry. Etienne Levine, the Dakar director, joined the president to soak up the historic atmosphere, while the riders got changed into something more befitting the occasion. They've been given llama blankets, llama hats and llama slippers. Sort of a llama pyjama. Ding dong. Depre is over 2 hours behind Coma, but he will never give up the chase. Oh, no. It's my nature to attack, and that's what I'm going to do. Well, struggling to keep up the pace in the mountains, Duclos losing his way. I think I'm sick because of the altitude, he says. Minute by minute, Barreda fighting back towards Valparaiso. We're going to fight to try and do it. It would be a great moment for Honda if I do. Second half of the Bolivia mountains. The race is hotting up. This is what we're dealing with today. 462 kilometers of special. Okay, not over the lake, but around the side of it. Too much rain turned it into, well, a lake. Nothing so far on the Dakar could prepare the riders for the sheer magnificence of what they're about to see. The world's largest unbroken tract of salt flats. A spectacle, most certainly. One to be remembered always. Can you imagine getting the chance to see this? It's what brings Dakar competitors back year in, year out. Early second at checkpoint 5, South African Ryan van Niekerk, suffering slightly from the effects of altitude, while the terrain constantly changing with the entire special running above 3,600 metres, 7th today. Cyril Desprez took over the running at CP2, stretched the lead on this flat course, and he was dealing very well with altitude. He was stretching his legs out there, looking very good. Bareda and Coma, the daddies out there. Coma, unable to speak at the end of stage 7, got himself a bit of laryngitis, and the altitude not overly helping that. But nonetheless, looking very good, as was Bareda Bort. Every second counts for Bareda right now, and he fought tooth and nail with Coma to the end. By checkpoint 10, he was back to only 7 seconds down, and out of the line, the Honda rider did it. 6 seconds faster than Coma. Goodness me, Coma couldn't say much. Bareda could. I'm happy because I opened the road today and arrived still first, and that was a good thing for me today, so I'm very happy. Very complicated marathon stage. Tough because of the altitude, the many kilometres, and of course my laryngitis. And I'm happy, to be honest, with the way it went. Should be cutting a jazz disc soon. Desprez, first stage win of the year by 2 minutes and 10. A landmark moment for the Yamaha rider. How do you feel about it? Well, the idea is not to chase stage victories, but to come back to the front of the race today, whilst I was trying to reduce the gap between me and the leaders, and I won the stage, and so I'm absolutely happy.
Entre moi et les premiers, j'ai gagné la spéciale, donc tant mieux, ça fait toujours plaisir.
Early tech problems dropped Duclos from to 66th. Yeah, half an hour back. Sherco rider climbed back up to the leaderboard in terms of places to 23rd, but he just couldn't make up time on the leaders, and that's hurt his chances overall. That, and of course, suffering from altitude sickness doesn't help. Olivier Pam not had the pure speed of the last years, but the opening week been unkind to him, I guess, racing tooth and nail at times with Michael Metsch and Helder Rodrigue for 4th place. Strong day for Yamaha team. Helder Rodrigue lost that particular battle on the CRF 450, really upping his game in the race to take those extra strides forward. You never know, podiums may well be in the offing. Chilean Jeremas Israel, real flashes of speed and brilliance over the last few days. He benefited from the problems of Duclos to gain time. 4th place in the standings, but on the day, not the fastest of the Chileans. Daniel Gouet, it's the Tamaro Gal XC Rally Team Honda rider, blitzing the day on this rally with 8th, the Chilean carrying national pride, and indeed here he is. National cross-country champion today, just 13 minutes 23 off the lead. And this is Lea Sanz, continuing to hassle the top 20. Great to see we're producing such a fine talent as she. Cyril Desprez then taking it ahead of Jan Bareda Bort, who got in ahead of Coma. Thinking about the GC, of course, those two. Rodrigue and Pau, 4 and 5 today. Coma leads. Bareda Bort, it's just seconds, wasn't it? 38 minutes and 8 seconds. He trails. Beardom's 3rd, Duclos 4th, ahead of Israel. Yesterday, Ignacio Casale took back the overall lead just before the Dakar enters his very own country. Today, Casale confirmed that he's the man to beat, leading the race at a very important waypoint and winning his 4th stage this year. Casale, castles in the sand, eh? Well, 4th overall, since he lost more than 2 hours 3 days ago. Sebastian Husseini found some new energy to clock the 2nd best time of the day. Nearly 9 minutes from Casale's time. Unfortunately for him, Husseini is almost 3 hours from 3rd place. Former quad leader Sergio Lafuente seems powerless against the flying Casale, and for the 3rd day in a row, the Uruguayan rider has to satisfy himself with the 3rd best time. Lafuente staying 2nd overall, 22 minutes from the leader, Casale. And Rafael Sonic, less than 30 minutes behind Casale overall this morning, but the Polish rider seems unable to follow the Chilean's rhythm. Sonic taking 4th best time of the day, 16 minutes from the day's winner, but keeps a comfortable margin in 3rd place overall. Coming next, would Roma's luck be enough? We'll find out. Almost 1 week after beating the altitude record for a special stage, the riders will again have to battle with the effects of altitude as they spend the day between 3,600 and 4,000 meters. For some, altitude sickness is an enemy. It's so difficult at this height. Altitude was a problem with temperature, rocks, everything, all difficult. Well, the first problem is the lack of oxygen, which gives altitude sickness. Some people can tolerate it, others not so. It's amplified by physical effort. A rider can fall in a kind of a fog, a lack of awareness, and that's dangerous. We told them at the briefing just how to try and cope and to keep themselves hydrated properly. That's vital. Well, during stage 3, climb above 4,300 meters, the medical helicopter landed to treat them 30 times along the way. The battle against dehydration, one of the big ones. Well, man suffers, so does the bikes. Bikers suffer, we suffer a lot. Everything is difficult for us, he says. Bike lost traction out there, lack of oxygen for the machine. The bike didn't have any power at all. Too many rocks. It's a massive rock mounted in the sky. Since 2009, altitude is the new parameter that manufacturers have been trying to overcome with new electronics and fuel injection. Engines are built to deal with altitude these days, but they still suffer. Well, the more you raise in altitude, the more the air gets thin, and so there will be not enough air and too much fuel in the engine. So the engine loses power. So to avoid that, we have pressure sensors on the bike that allows us to constantly change the amount of fuel in the engine according to the altitude. Almost 40 riders on bikes and quads failed to reach Barreal during stage 3 last Tuesday. There were 101 leaving Uyuni this morning. Roma riding high in the Andes, and he knows the pressure is on.
No estoy corriendo menos. Si yo corro menos,
I'm not driving slower. If I drive slower, my mind starts to wander. I'm fully focused. Mr. Dakar, we're going to try and put the pressure on for first place. We'll see how we go. You've got to be at the maximum. What about the Hilux?
We will definitely keep on fighting, and I still think we're in with a chance for sure.
Dominant in stage 7, Sainz renewed the rocket ship. The SMG looking good. The intention is to try and win all the remaining stages, do a good rally. Stand back, they're coming. The cars over the Andes into Chile. This is the course they were dealing with, a special of 302 kilometers, different from the bikes, no less challenging. But while the bikers were leaving Bolivia, the car crews said farewell to Argentina as they headed to Chile. Well, despite Carlos Sainz's win yesterday, SMG mechanics worked all night on the buggy to have it ready for another demanding stage. Carlos himself getting sparkoed up, as you can see. An early rise for El Matador, eager to try and clinch as many stage wins as possible. Back in the office then. Absolutely glorious. The border. Well, the 8th stage from Salto to Calama started for the cars with the liaison through the Andes. It's really beautiful, spectacular. It's absolutely worth it, he says. He's right. It's beautiful, but so long, especially on track, but it's great. We saw Wolf, Palas, we're enjoying the landscape, the animals. Jean-Pierre Garçon, his co-driver, sleeps sometimes, so that wakes me up. The snoring, that is, keeps me alert.
It's a very high altitude, and just we stop for one moment and we use the oxygen, but okay, we are crossing now.
I nearly fall asleep, and Dirk doesn't want to drive, so it's hard work, but no, it's beautiful, you know, it's a beautiful landscape, and you know, it's we have to cross here to get to the other side, so no, it's good.
Well, reaching the border, they pass quickly passport control. Wasn't expecting them. Another more unusual check. What on earth do they think they're carrying? Well, the dog is searching for any organic products. All the animal or vegetable products are prohibited in Chile to cross the border. So after 522 kilometers of liaison, they finally reach the start of this 8th special stage. So after all of that, time to get down to business. Sainz opened the way, spectacular style, led during the whole day, but only managed to clock the 3rd fastest time. What went wrong there then? Well, it's been a bit of a rollercoaster ride for Bernhard ten Brinckje. Quite a few downs, and well, he was up today with a fine 9th in the HRX Ford. They're settling ponds, by the way, in case you're wondering. HRX kicking up a dust storm today. Once they got through the Andes, it seems it's been an awful lot drier in Chile than it has been in Argentina. Yeah, Gil de Villiers has been complaining about the power issue at altitude. The Ford didn't seem to have any troubles today. Keeping the mini boys within range is what it's all about. The land of the volcanoes. After a slight setback yesterday, Orlando Terranova hit back. The Argentinian clinching 4th spot. There goes de Villiers in a happy place. South African wasn't quite as fast as the mini boys. Indeed, he lost 9 minutes on the day's winner, and he keeps his 3rd spot overall by 3 minutes. Here is Terranova, we mentioned a moment ago, the Argentine, taking 4th spot, and that podium is getting closer to the man, the Tangerine Mini. Again, all the pressure was on the shoulders of race leader Nani Roma. Only this time, he was starting behind his rivals. The Catalan did lose further time, though. Finished 6th. What's going on? Not a good day. Had 2 punctures. Lost a lot of time changing the wheel. But that's the way it is. You know, Stefan Penhansel is just starting to crank up the pressure. 6 days to conquer and get his 12th title. They gained half an hour on Roma. Well, that's what he's going to have to do. He didn't do that today, but he started to eke into that lead. The Frenchman did a good job today, finishing 4th, beating Roma though by 8 minutes. Now 23 minutes adrift. It could all change, you know. Nasser capturing 2nd spot. He was happy.
It's not easy. The altitude is very high, and you feel it in the power in the engine. But okay, I'm quite happy to make a good stage.
Best performance. Al Nasser, there he is. 2 hours 32 taking today's stage. It was Peder Hansel in second place ahead of Carlos Sainz. Orlando Terranova fourth today. Roma is there. Alataya got an awful lot of work to do if he's even going to get into fourth place. He's talking about the podium. That's De Villiers in that spot at the moment. Oh, we like our one-to-ones. This is Marek Dobrowski of Poland. Marek coming into a new challenge this year with Jacek on four wheels.
So Marek, this year you enter a new challenge with Jacek on four wheels on the Dakar Rally. How is it so far for you?
So far it's quite good because we had nice stages, nice results. Actually, Jacek his navigation was always very good. You know, like on the bike, every biker knows that where Chahor is, it's a good way. So that's why we find all the waypoints. We are on the good track most of the time. And you know, when it's hard, it's okay for us. You know, when it's sometimes fast sections, the high altitude, our car is maybe a little bit slower, but you know, we are very happy that we are in the classification so high.
Indeed, you have very good results from the very beginning of the rally. How do you explain that ex-riders have very good performances on the rally?
I think you know, for the first we had a lot of kilometers we did in World Championship, in Dakars. We had like on ice the desert. We feel maybe it's a good feeling of terrain, and you know, we know how big pain is to go too fast, maybe also, and that give you maybe the good balance between speed and making a good result, because the most difficult thing is in the car, like for me right now, if you are going too fast, you can make everything wrong, you know.
What is your sensation in the car compared to the sensation you had on the bike, especially in the dune? How do you use your experience from the bike in the dunes with the car?
In the dunes, this is really harder for me. It was in the beginning, and right now we are going to Chile. Also, it will be a big challenge for me, because in the car you feel like in the tank, because you see only what is by your windscreen, you know, and normally in the bike you see first what is after the dune. Now you have to wait after the car will go down, and then you see what is on the other side of the dune. So this is really more challenging for me than it was on the bike. But the feeling stays, you know, the feeling of the sand, the feeling that sometimes you go and the car couldn't survive in the sand, so we stop, we take out some pressure. I think the feeling stays, you know, after the bike. Only the harder thing is the visibility, that we don't see too much in the car.
We can see that on this Dakar Rally there is like a Polish battle. You are in front of the pack of the Polish drivers. Was it your objective before the Dakar Rally?
Actually, my objective was to finish top 25. And we didn't expect in our dreams that we can be top 10. It's nice that we are when we are, but we also know that it's our first Dakar and in the car, and we can lose some time. So we are not thinking that we are so good. We just have to keep going till the end, and we have other riders from Poland more experienced, and we just have to go our way.
So what do you want me to wish you for the next few days?
You know, to be steady finish till the end, and if we can stay around 10th position, a little bit less, even a little bit less, it will be great for us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
What a nice man, Mr. Dobrowski.
Hey guys, you know, you will be the new Eurosport.
Well, each day we tune in with somebody who we've given a camera to. It's Ginny again.
C'est le Dakar ou non?
So it looks like the start of the stage is delayed. Let's find out. So how is it?
Very nice.
Nice? What is the problem?
We make the red gloves for increase my quantity of oxygen. I stay here a little bit more time.
After the break, it's the big boys, of course. Back in a moment. You know, he just can't get enough. Sebastian Loeb crossed into the Andes this morning. He hasn't gone away from the Dakar. There he is. You can't hide, mate. You may be small, but we have a strong lens. The dog didn't find anything except a former WRC superstar. There we are. Time then to head to Paso Llama, 4,300 meters into Chile. This is a man who's having a bit of trouble.
What is this? He's running in. He's not stuck here. Okay?
You know, overtaking is hard on defined tracks. Calming down is hard to do if you've been bumped.
They should stand in bivouac and you pay.
Hey, I'm trying to
or claim or you pay.
This is the big mine at Chiquicamata. You know, there is an awful lot of copper here. The depth goes down to 850 meters, so you could probably skydive off the edge of it. Unbelievable. And they say 13% of all the world's copper is right here. That was a hell of a meteor, wasn't it? In the truck race, the battle continued today with the jingle-jangly music. We go truck-tastic about this point. Well, after the victory, before the rest day, Peter Versluis took off first. Tough task for the Dutchman in his Veka man truck. 21st overall, he captured a great 4th spot today. Well, ever since the start of the Dakar, Alistair Brace has been struggling to keep in touch with the camas of the Deroy trucks. The Czech lost further time today and another 10 minutes. Hans Stacey, solid day for him, for the 2007 winner. 2 tasks for the Dutchman, helped Gerard Deroy and closing on the podium. Tough times for Marcel van Vliet, who carries on stumbling down the standings. 8th overall in the morning, he lost close to an hour on the stage and drops to 10th. So, the charging Kamaz Armada. 3 men have decided to make Gerard Deroy suffer with his sleep at night. Dmitry Sotnikov is one of them. Previous asset in 4th spot overall. A precious asset, I should say. Clocked the 2nd fastest time on stage 7, despite winning last year's rally. Eduard Nikolaev is yet to win a stage on the Dakar, pushing hard to try and put the pressure on De Roy. The Russian entered the history books of stage wins in Salta. He remains third overall, an hour adrift. Not a good day for Andrei Karginov. Lost time on the race leader, just under 9 minutes on Gerard De Roy. His time deficit overall growing now, 37 minutes and 50, so maybe De Roy is going to sleep soundly tonight. And that obviously meant good news for De Roy. That siren means whatever you do, don't turn left just yet. Yes, proof that the Dutchman is living the dream, enjoying things. In fact, he was so quick today, he'd have been 5th in the car standings. That's how fast he was going. No wonder he's got a big hooter. Needs it. Get out of my way, I'm coming through. My first memory was 1996, my first Dakar. The most impressive was when I put a foot into Africa for the first time. For me, it was the real start. I'd been dreaming for a long time. I'd seen it, witnessed it from the outside, and I wanted to start. And it was a real accomplishment. You're on the podium, someone pats you on the shoulder and says, "Off you go."
When we do the prologue stage, it was completely snow. I was really freezing, but you know, like I said, okay, just to finish this stage, and after, you know, we push all the way to cross from France to Spain. I am sure it will be more warm there, you know.
Awesome battle with a childhood, or I shouldn't say a childhood, because our careers were going at the same time, but I got to do battle head to head with Colin McRae. And you know, I think I won day 1, Colin won day 2, I won day 3, Colin won day 4, and we both crashed on day 5.
No fue bueno.
It was a good memory. It was 2011. I had a crash on the first day. I wanted to catch up after that, and it was super difficult with a lot of sand, and I crashed again, and I quit. It was 2000 Dakar with scrutineering in Paris. I believe that one of the moments that will remain with me forever was scutineering in the Bois de Vincennes and the podium on the Champ de Mars. To ride around Paris on a big bike with a helmet, a jacket and sponsors all over it, the Dakar competitor logo. It was a great moment. I guess that's when Toblerone decided to sponsor his beard.
Compétiteur, ça a été un moment inoubliable.
Stage 9, destination Valparaiso ultimately, but not just yet. What have we got as we go to Iquique? Stage 9, heading out of Calama to Iquique, will be the first stage in Chile, identical for all the competitors. The highlight of the day will be the famous last Sunday downhill to the bivouac and the whole end of the stage in the sand dunes down to the sea. Remember it, once seen, never forgotten. Cannot wait. The sea beckons then. Hope you can join us tomorrow. I'm Carlton Kirby. Thank you for your company today. We look forward to it, as ever. See you then.